Vanakkam friends, I welcome you all to Trinity Cultural Academy. Today we shall start with a new subject in plant sciences, that is seed science and technology. In that part 1, seeds and their important structures. At the end of this lesson, you shall be able to define seed and its importance in crop production, and you will be able to state the characteristics of good seed and differentiate between seed and grain. Apart from this, you shall be able to explain the types of seeds and its components, and you shall be able to describe the appendages of seeds and state the parts of seedlings and the important fruit type and their examples. Okay friends, let us enter into the subject. First one, seeds. It is a basic input in agriculture upon which other inputs are applied. A good vigorous seed utilizes all the resources and realized as a reasonable output to the grower. It is a wealth to the farmer, and it is the yesterday's harvest and tomorrow's hope. Good seed in good soil realize good yield. A seed is a matured ovule and a reproductive unit formed from a fertilized ovule and consisting of an embryo, a reserve food, and a protective cover. Seed exhibits a great range of variation in shape, size, color, and behavior. The most essential factor for the success of plantation is the ready availability of quality seeds. The quality of seed is totally responsible for the future return and performance of each and every seedling. Here, the picture denotes a clear explanation about the seeds. It is here the lower part of a protective covering of radicle is coleorhiza, and a plumule is covered by a protective cover called coleoptile, and in rice a layer, a protein body called alluvial layer is present, and the whole maximum part of the rice is covered with a flory endosperm. Next one, importance of seed in crop production. Seed is the vital input in crop production because through seed only the investment made on other inputs like fertilizer, pesticides, irrigation and crop maintenance can be realized. The seed required for raising the crop is quite small and its cost is also less compared to other inputs, but greater income farmers gets depends upon the quality of small quantity of seeds uses. The next one, hence the utmost care must be given to use of quality seeds, and the use of certified seeds guarantees quality and ensures high and assured yield under different environmental stress conditions. And a seed, it acts as a carrier of new technology and also a vehicle of superior genes to reach of farmers. It is a basic tool for a record food supply, that is introduction of dwarf and high yielding varieties and hybrids of different crops to increase the productivity and lead to potential development, and it higher yield, and it act as a medium for rapid rehabilitation of agriculture in cases of natural disaster, and it is a one living organism, embryonic plant, dispersal unit, a beginning and the end of life. The next we'll see the characteristics of good seed. It must be well ripened, healthy and true to type, and here we can compare the high quality and local seed. Here high quality seeds are highly vigorous compared to local seed, and it ensures high genetic purity, that is true to type plants. In this picture we can clearly see that the genetically pure seeds have uniform growth habit, and in genetically impure we have seen a different growth habit patterns. The next one, pure, and it must be pure and free from inert materials, weeds, seeds, pests and diseases, and it must be viable and have good germination capacity. Here in the slides we can see the slide with a high germination percentage and low germination percentage, and uniform in its texture, structure, look, etc. according to the specification of variety. Yes, it should be uniform, and it should not be damaged and broken. Here we can see the highly vigorous seedlings growth and less low vigor seedlings growth. Compare it and it must be having optimum moisture content for storage, and it possesses high longevity and a long shelf life. Let us see the difference between seed and a grain. It is very important topic and in seed technology, and a seed should be viable and vigorous one, and it need not be a viable one in case of grain, and it should be genetically and physically pure. It is not needed in case of grain, and it should be satisfying seed standards such as maximum germination and pure seed and minimum seed moisture. Here there is no such requirements in case of grain, and it should satisfy the minimum seed certification standard. Here there is no such requirements. Seed can be treated with the pesticides or fungicides to protect the seed against the storage pest and fungi. Here it should not be treated with any chemical since it is used for consumption. And here the respiration rate and other physiological and biological process should be kept at low level during storage condition so that we can maintain the viability of seed. Here there is no such specification since it is not used for sowing purpose. And certified and truthfully labeled seeds, here is an example. It should be certified, and here there is no such conditions. It should satisfy all quality norms in case of seed, but here it is not necessary to satisfy those things. And a seed can never be converted into a grain unless it is warranted. And here grain, sorry friends, here there is a mistake. A seed can be converted into grain, but here it is in rare cases it may be converted as seed. Next one, we will see the types of seed. A structure is a distinguishable specific genetic components of each and every seed. This will vary with kind of crop but not with variety, cultivar and genotype. Based on storage organ present in seed to nourish growing embryo, the kind of seeds is classified into two types as monocots and dicots. Here, the monocot seeds and monocotyledonous seeds, let us see in detail. Here the seeds of monocots are single seeds embedded in a fruit called caryopsis or utricle. Let us see with the diagram. And the seed coat and fruit coat are fused to form a pericarp and the embryo is minute and confined to one end of the seed and is viable with 2n number of chromosomes. It is very important. Embryo having 2n number of chromosomes and it is viable. A storage tissue called endosperm, which is non-viable and with 3n number of chromosomes. Endosperm is 3n number of chromosomes and it occupies a major portion of the seed. Here we can see the endosperm portion. It occupies a major portion in seed. And embryo, it consists of radicle and plumule. Here we can see the radicle and plumule part, which are enclosed in a coleorhiza and coleoptile. Here the plumule is covered with coleoptile and the radicle is covered with the coleorhiza. A single cotyledon of monocot is known as scutellum and it is situated between plumule and a radicle. We can see in picture it is situated between plumule and radicle, a structure called scutellum. The next one, alluron layer, is a protein body which remains at the periphery of the endosperm and it helps in absorption of water and releases enzymes which helps in germination. A monocot seeds are also known as albuminous and endospermous seeds because endosperms are present and it contains albumin. Next one, let us see dicot seeds or dicotyledonous seeds in detail. The dicot seed consists of a primary axis. The primary axis is nothing but a plumule and radicle without cotyledon. A primary axis and a living storage tissue that is endosperm and cotyledons which combinedly form embryo which is enclosed in a seed coat. This embryo is enclosed in seed coat. Then mostly dicots do not have endosperm which is fully utilized for the development of embryo. In some cases they have well developed endosperm, in example castor and fenugreek, and mostly X endospermous or X albuminous in nature in case of legumes. In some cases perisperm, which is the remaining unfertilized portion of the nucellus in case of black pepper, sugar beet and coffee. It is also seen in dicot seeds in some cases. Here we can see the dicotyledonous seeds. The next one, components of seed. A seed coat is the important outer covering of the seed, and it develops from two integuments of the ovule. Outer layer of the seed coat which is smooth and rough, and it's known as testa, which is formed from the outer integument. From outer integument, a testa is formed, and the inner layer of the seed coat is called tegmen, which is formed from the inner integument. Here a seed coat, we can see the seed coat testa. It is the outer covering of the seed, and it forms from two integuments. Outer integument is forming a testa, and the inner integument a tegma is formed. The next one, embryo. It is a mature ovule consisting of embryonic plant together with a store of food, all surrounded by a protective coat which gives rise to a plant similar to that of its mother. It is a miniature plant consisting of plumule, radicle and cotyledon. The plumule and radicle without cotyledon is called primary axis. This we have seen in dicot seeds in detail. And the next one is there are different types of embryo. For example, there are nearly 8 types of embryo, I think. Yes, 9 types of embryo. First one is basal. Here we can see at the endosperm is at the base of the seed. In the family which has a basal type of embryo is you can see in detail about the families. In this we can see the important families like Rubiaceae and Umbelliferaceae. In case of linear, the embryo is at the bottom and it is linear in shape. This can be seen in case of Compositae family. This is name is changed into Astraceae family. The next one is basolateral. At the base of the seed, it can be seen in case of Graminae, and sagittate in case of Vitaceae, and a spatulate with the endosperm is observed in case of Euphorbiaceae family. The next one is spatulate without endosperm. For example, it can be seen in Leguminaceae, Pedalaceae family, and embryo is at bent in case of Anacardiaceae and Leguminaceae. Leguminaceae family has different types of embryo, and it can be observed in spatulate without endosperm, bent, etc. Folded type of endosperm is present in Convolvulaceae, Cruciferaceae and Leguminaceae, and encircling type of embryo can be seen in Amaranthacea and Malvaceae family. Coiled type of embryo is seen in Solanaceae. The next one, the important component of seed is radicle and coleorhiza. A rudimentary root of a plant compressed in the embryo is radicle, which forms the primary root of the young seedlings. Next one, and it is enclosed in a protective cover known as coleorhiza. This we have seen in detail about the structure of seed images. The next one, plumule and coleoptile. The first terminal bud of plant compressed in the embryo that gives rise to a first vegetative shoot of the plant, and it is enclosed in a protective cover called coleoptile. The next one is cotyledon. The cotyledons are the compressed seed leaves. A single cotyledon is known as scutellum, and it is present in case of monocots called scutellum, while two cotyledons are present in dicots. Hence they are named as monocots and dicots respectively. In dicots, they serve as a storage tissue and are well developed, while scutellum is a very tiny structure is found in monocots. The next one is scutellum. It is a modified it is a part of structure of seed, and it is a modified seed leaf. A single cotyledon of monocot is known as scutellum. The next one is endosperm. Endosperm develops from endosperm nuclei. It is formed by two polar nuclei and one sperm nuclei. It is used for the storage of food for the developing embryo. Here we can see the endosperm part and plumule and radicle. Plumule gives rise to a shoot and radicle gives rise to a root. A radicle is covered by coleorhiza and plumule is covered by coleoptile. In between plumule and the radicle, in case of monocots, scutellum is present. The next one will see the appendages of the seed. Some seeds will have appendages that are attached to the seed coat. They vary with kind of seeds, and the appendages sometimes helps in dispersal of seeds or in identification of genotypes. Some of the appendages are on hilum, caruncle, aerial, hair and wings. Let us see in detail one by one. First one is on. It is a thorn-like projection in the tip of the seeds. In case of, it is observed mostly in case of paddy. Bracts tip was elongated into the on. The next one is hilum. Scare. It is a scare mostly white in color, present on the lateral side of the seed. It represents the attachment of seed stalk to the placenta of the fruit to the mother plant. Example, it is observed in case of pulses. Here all pulses mostly have a hilum. Here a dark white in color plumule can be observed. The next one is caruncle. It is a spongy white outgrowth of the micropyle end. It is observed in case of some species, and example is castor and tapioca. Here the caruncle can be seen in case of castor. The next one is aerial. It is a colored fleshy mass present on the outside of seed. Example nutmeg, and hairy outgrowth is observed in case of cotton. It is a minute thread-like appendages present on the surface of the seed. Wing type of appendages is observed in case of moringa. It is covered by a papery structure attachment to the side of the seed coat, either to a specific side of the seed coat or to all sides. The next one is part of normal seedling. A seedling of seed is categorized as normal only if it has the following essential parts and germination after a certain period of growth. The first important primary part of seedling is root. The part of plant growing underground from the seed or embryo is known as root. A radicle of embryo develops into a root and it grows straight and must be free from damages and decays. The next one is shoot. A part of plant growing above the ground is known as shoot and it develops from the plumule of the embryo. The next one is epicotyle. It is a portion of shoot above the cotyledons, and the hypocotyle is a region of shoot below the cotyledon and above the root. The next one is coleoptile. It is a leathery covering protecting the plumule and it helps in emergence. It also helps in elongation of cotyledons in case of monocots. The next one is coleorhiza. It is a sheath which covers the radicle and it helps in elongation of hypocotyle region. The next one we'll see important fruit type and its structure in major crops. The fruit, initially we can see what is fruit. A fruit is a part of flowering plant that derives from specific tissues of the flower, mainly from one or more ovaries. There are different types of fruit. First one is fleshy. In case of fleshy type, there are two subtypes as simple fleshy and compound fleshy. In simple fleshy, it is a fruit which develops from flower with a single pistil. There are two types as drupe and pome. In simple fleshy, there are two types as drupe and pome. In drupe, a simple fleshy fruit with a single seed enclosed by a hardy stone endocarp or pit is called as drupe. It is observed in case of mango, peach, plum, cherry, coconut, coffee, cocoa. The next one is pome. Here it is a bulk of flesh comes from enlarged floral tube or receptacle that grows around the ovary. It is observed in case of apple, pear, quince and locust. The next one is compound fleshy. It is a type of fleshy fruit. It is usually comes from a compound ovary and often contains more than one seed. It is known as berry fruit. And the true berry is a fruit with a thin skin and soft pericarp. It is observed in case of banana, grapes, papaya, sapota, guava, areca nut, avocado, tomato, brinjal, chili and pepper. The next one is pepper. It is relatively having thick rinse. Here there is a spelling mistake here, thick rinse. For it is observed in case of pumpkin, watermelon and cucumber. The next type of compound fleshy fruit is hesperidium. It contains a leathery skin containing oils. It is observed in case of citrus, onla and carambola. The next type of fruit is after fleshy is dry fruit. There are many types in dry fruits as dehiscent and indehiscent. In case of dehiscent fruit, it do not split at maturity. The first one is follicle. It split along one side or seam. It is observed in case of larkspur. Here the follicle is splitting along any one side. The next one is legume. It is observed in case of leguminaceae family crops like black gram, green gram, Bengal gram, soya bean, red gram, groundnut and cowpea. It here split occurs along the two sides or seams of the pod. The next one is siliqua. Here the split of seed occurs along two sides of the seam, but the seeds are borne on the central partition exposed when the two halves separate. The next one is cap. It is here the example of siliqua is sesame, cabbage and cauliflower. The next one is capsule. It consists of at least two carpels and it's split in variety of ways called as bendy. That is okra. The next one is indehiscent fruit. Here dry fruits do not split at maturity. There are nearly 5 types of indehiscent fruit. The first one is akin. Example of akin is sunflower. The next one is nut, a large indehiscent akin. It is commonly one-seeded. It is observed in case of almond. The next one is grain or caryopsis, an akin in which ovary wall and seed coat are inseparable. It is observed in case of wheat, corn, rice, sorghum and pearl millet. Mostly cereal crops are a grain having a fruit type of grain or caryopsis. The next one is samara, a winged akin or nut. It is observed in case of maple tree. The next one is isocarp. It is observed in case of carrot. Here the carrot castor particularly having a fruit type called regma. Let us see in following slides. The next one is aggregate fruit. Here it develops from a single flower with several to many pistils. Individual pistils mature as a clustered unit on a single receptacle. Example is raspberry, strawberries and beetroot. The next one is multiple fruit. Here it derives from several to many individual flowers in a single inflorescence. Example of multiple fruit is pineapple and a fig. Here there are a few more examples of fruit types of Lomentum is a fruit type is observed in groundnut and tamarind, Regma for castor and Cinchonus for fig and Sorosis for jack and pineapple. Thank you friends. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share and comment on this video. Kindly subscribe our YouTube channel to get the upcoming videos. Thank you.